Thank you. Hi, I'm Karen Benardello. I'm from Cinema Daily US. And thank you very much for taking the time today to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Very good, Karen. Nice to see you.
Two things. Okay, so I wanted to get started asking about what really interested you in coming back for the second film, and what was that process like of deciding to take part again and becoming attached, and what really interested you in reprising your role in the film.
Well, obviously the enormous paycheck helps, but mainly it's the pleasure of getting back together with a gang of people that I've grown to love and work closely with over the last 10 plus years. I think it's 12 years on and off we've worked together, and just the pleasure of JulianFellowes' script. Added to which, knowing that there's an audience out there that really enjoys these characters, enjoys these stories, and while it's not a ready-made audience, nor is it taken for granted, we know that there are a lot of people out there who've followed us loyally, and so this really is a treat for them.
Also, speaking about the fact that Julian came back to write the script for the film after working on the series and the first film, what was that experience like of getting to reunite with him as the writer for the second film? And
I'm so sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat that?
Yeah, speaking of getting to work with the film's writer, Julian, like you mentioned, what was that experience like getting to reunite with him after working with him on the show and the first film, and getting to work with him again on the sequel?
Well, I mean, he really is. He's given birth to these characters. They've been in his head for so long now, and he's written for us and with us in mind as actors. And so he writes to our strengths, and he pushes us in different directions, which is always a pleasure. And he's collaborative up to a point. I mean, I can push back on certain things and say I don't quite understand why the story's heading in this direction, or for Robert, or can you help me with this? And you write him a one-line question and he'll give you a 5-page reply. So he's very thorough, and he absolutely knows the world of these characters inside out, of course. And he's just a master at spinning these plates and keeping these storylines alive. And he's given Robert Crawley a fantastic story in this particular outing of the film, this journey. And he and Robert and Cora have both have a sort of existential crisis of sorts, and they really have cause to look at their lives in different ways and assess where they are. And Julian explores that with great dexterity and warmth and compassion, as he always does.
Also, I wanted to ask about getting to work with the film's director for this one, Simon. I was also able to speak with him about the sequel yesterday, and what was that collaboration like with him as well on the film?
Well, Simon, I've worked with in the past a couple of times, and he's obviously a great friend of the show because he's married to Cora in real life, Elizabeth McGovern. And so he's been hanging around like a groupie on the set, on and off, over the last decade and more. And so when Gareth Neame rang me and said, "What do you think about the idea of Simon Curtis?" I went, "Of course, it makes perfect sense." Not that he'd ever directed anything before, but he turned up and was quite good. No, he has, of course, great experience in his own right as a filmmaker and as a producer. And his knowledge of and affection for the cast and for actors in general is utterly bewitching. And so when he's at the helm, it's well, like with any movie, the tone of the film comes to, it cascades down from the director, and his energy on set is just adorable. And his affection and passion for making stories come alive is tangible. And we had he just wanted to make sure we have a really good time. And forget shot lists, he was mainly making up quizzes. That was his main activity, to keep everyone entertained.
And also, speaking about working with Elizabeth as well as the rest of the cast, what was that experience like, getting to reunite with everyone and also welcome the new cast members and really build those relationships again?
Yeah, well, as I say, we have become a good team over the last all these years, and the fact that we came back for a second movie is, I think, an indication that we get on pretty well. There's no point coming and doing something, however well paid you may be, if you can't bear everybody else that you're working with. So that's a testament to not only our casting director from the outset, Jill Trevellick, but also Julian's writing, Gareth's sense of team building. Liz Trubridge, our producer's mother hen nature of collecting us all together and keeping us all in good spirits. So reuniting with Elizabeth is always a treat. You know, we've joked about how this is our third time lucky because we've been married twice before in shows, and this one seems to have worked. And we have a great shorthand and a great rapport, as we do with all the cast. So it's, you know, I'm afraid it's an annoyingly happy ship. So there's not many chinks in the armor for you to have a go at.
While watching the film, I really like the dynamic that you have with Elizabeth, especially when there's the revelation about her part way into the film. What was that experience like of kind of working on that part of the relationship and marriage and really showcasing their strength overall on screen and coming back for this film overall as well?
So I didn't quite, sorry, it's breaking up again. You were asking about try again.
Yeah, I was asking about really getting to work with Elizabeth in particular, and with the revelation partway into the film about her character and what's going on with her personally. What was that experience like to really showcase their dynamic in their marriage and really working with her in particular?
Okay, yeah. So, well, sort of as I alluded to earlier, you know, that dynamic between Robert and Cora is always it's always a treat when Julian decides to explore that relationship and dig a little deeper. And in this film, as I say, they both have cause to assess their lives in some way or other, and to work out, you know, who they are and what they mean to each other. And it's a, you know, it's a portrait of a marriage over these last X number of years that has been, I think, very deftly drawn by Julian, and he gets to explore it in a new way in this particular episode of the saga, and I think with great humanity and compassion. As I say, they're both in a crisis point, and it's a test of their not a test of their marriage, but it's an indication of the strength of their marriage, that they can confide in each other and share their experiences in the way that they do.
Also, I wanted to ask about your character really exploring his identity within the family, and as they travel to France, and really going through an identity crisis in certain parts of the film. And was that something that you were really interested in exploring as well and delving into that further?
Well, yeah, it's just, you know, it's a rattling good yarn, as JulianFellowes so often produces, and to take the characters away from the beautiful edifice of Downton Abbey itself, with the excuse of going to the south of France to explore another property, was a real treat. Obviously, both as an actor, but also someone who likes traveling. So it's a gorgeous adventure for all the characters, but both those who stay at the house and they're taken out of their usual patterns of life and explore a whole new world with the film crew that comes to visit. And for the other characters that go on the trip to the south of France, it's a whole, you know, they're trying to uncover a whole new mystery that's going on down there. So there's a heck of a lot going on in this film, actually. But the main thing is it's I think a visual treat, and it's an escapist treat for those who know and love the characters.
Well, I think that was me. But thank you again very much for taking the time out to speak with me today. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Karen. All the best. Take care.
Okay, thank you again.